Chairman. Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for your comments on the revenue side, but on the spending side, how do you expect to balance the budget, and how do you sell it to the American people? Because they're terrified that everyone's going to be unemployed if you have that. So
absolutely. Okay. We have 3 issues in our candidacy. 3 issues. The first is the economy. The second is jobs, which we talked about. The third is education, that we also talked about. Valid question. Look, regarding the economy, people have to understand the reality of what we're facing. It's huge. For every dollar that the federal government spends today, we're borrowing 43 cents. Think of that. No company could possibly do that and stay in existence. No household could really possibly do that and stay in existence. Let me tell you a secret. No country can either. You can go back in your history buffs and look at the Roman Empire. Was never conquered from without. They fell from within. They overextended. Guess where we are today? Folks, we are Greece, only we don't have a Germany to bail us out. We are in trouble. So, you look at Paul Ryan. I know we're here in Wisconsin. He has this radical measure. Are you kidding me? His measure would not balance the budget for 28 years, and that's assuming some growth that may or may not be there. We will submit a balanced budget to Congress in 2013. It's about time. That means that we will submit a balanced budget reduction of spending by 43%. Now, we can't pass the budget. That's up to Congress. We'll hold their feet to the fire and do our best. Where is that money going to come from? That's big time, and I acknowledge that, and that's your question. Let's start with the military. Today, we are putting our military in conflicts all around the world. You know, if we are not isolationists, but we're also not interventionists. If Somalia were actually a security threat to the United States of America, I'd say, fine, let's put our troops there. Are they? The answer clearly is not. You know, Sudan, we have troops in Yemen, for heaven's sake. We have troops, obviously, in Afghanistan. Obama is saying that we're going to bring them back in 2014. We say, no, we're going to bring them back now. On an airplane, actually talking to a man who's a full bird colonel in the Air Force, in camouflage, was talking to him saying, where are you stationed? His response was, well, at least today I'm not in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I said, look, Colonel, because I've not been to Afghanistan, are our troops really accomplishing anything positive there? And the guy said, honestly, no. Anything possible that we could have accomplished in Afghanistan has long since been accomplished. We should remove those troops now. It is atrocious that we are bringing our guys back in body bags or with severed limbs or whatever else. It is counterproductive for us to stay there. We will bring them home now. That is a part of the 43%. In addition, and we get this from Ron Paul, although we had the idea as well, today, you're probably aware, if you're not, you should be, that we have, in the United States of America, somewhere between 900 and 1,000 bases in foreign countries around the world. Now, if they're necessary for our security, I say, terrific. Keep them there. Reinforce them if necessary. How many of them are? I'll bet you, without having conducted a study, that we could close 80% of them without even getting into substantive conversations as to which ones were really necessary for our security. I say, close them, bring them home, have our troops then stationed here in Madison, Wisconsin, or in New Orleans, or New Jersey, or San Diego, wherever, and stop spending all this money across the world. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. And so let's do, that's part of the 43% as well. And then, good question. We're going to have an audit of the federal government using generally accepted accounting principles. Now, you have a company, a public company, you're required by law to do that. The federal government has never had that, including the Pentagon, including all of these various agencies. They don't want it, but the answer is yes. National security, nonsense. Let's have some transparency here and figure out what is actually happening. So, what does that mean? I truly believe that the federal government should not be involved in education at all. A Department of Education? I don't really think so. Let's conduct an audit and see, in fairness, they have a $60 billion budget today per year, and they have something of more than 4,000 employees. Now, some of that money, in fairness, actually is used for schooling, but there's no need, in my opinion, to have that. We need probably very well to close and disband the Department of Education. And by the way, you may remember a fellow, Governor Perry. He didn't remember which agencies he even thought we should close, but I do. And that is, you know, the the Department of Commerce. You know, that's a private industry thing. Why we need to have a Department of Commerce, I couldn't hope to tell you. That should probably be closed, part of the 43%. The Bureau of Indian Affairs. You know, I have spoken, and my experience is different than Governor Johnson's, but I have spoken to probably 100 Native Americans in the last 4 or 5 years. And I asked them, what do you think of the Bureau of Indian Affairs? And to a person, they despise it. You know, I don't trust you. You're not capable of deciding how your children should be educated. We'll do it for you. Really? You're not capable of managing your property. We'll do it for you. We'll manage it. Now we've lost a few $1 billion, but that's government in action. Okay? Governor Johnson's experience, in fairness, is different. And he says, Jim, you're talking, there's 2 types of Native Americans in our country. One is with casinos, the other is without casinos. And in fairness, now that I think about it, probably I was speaking to Native Americans that have casinos. They despise the Bureau of Indian Affairs and get rid of it. The ones that don't receive a lot of money every month from the Bureau of Indian Affairs, so they like them. So we're going to have to work some balances. Are they in better shape because they get all of this stuff? And of course, clearly the answer is no. It keeps them down, but that's a balancing that we're going to have to do. And the other one is, of course, the Department of Energy. Do we really want to have a Department of Energy? Do we want to have the federal government choosing winners and losers in the marketplace? You know, they have decided that we will have ethanol made up of corn. Well, okay, so they're choosing that. Maybe hemp would be better. Maybe some other product. Maybe we should get the Department of Energy out of that choice. Let's tell the truth here. Maybe we shouldn't have a Department of Energy at all. And that's something, again, that we just need to look at. So that's part of the 43%. Now, we can't pass the budget. I understand that's Congress's position. But we're going to do this, and we're going to do it now. Why? For the health of our children, for the health of our grandchildren, for the health of our country. It's time to look at these issues. Anytime there's a problem, there's a 3-step process. The first step is to recognize that there's a problem. I think our country recognizes that today. If not, we will help them. The second part is to explain it, to give them an audit, to show them under these circumstances, these are the monies we have coming in, these are the monies that we have going out, we have a deficit, and we need to resolve this deficit for the future of our country. And then the third part is, I deeply believe that Americans, if they believe they're getting appropriate and truthful information, are prepared equally to share the pain. And that's unfortunately what we're going to have to discuss. And I believe our fellow Americans are prepared to do that. Governor Gary Johnson is the guy. I have told anybody that will listen that he's the most qualified person to be President of the United States that I know of. I am here again to tell you that based upon a hero of mine, Thomas Jefferson, and I know I said this before, but he said that we need to have that revolution every generation. It's been so long, but now this generation is here, and the revolution is present. Governor Gary Johnson and Judge Jim Gray. Yeah. So thank you. It's the most exciting thing that's happened to me since the birth of my children, but it cannot happen unless we all take it personally. So let's go out and do it, and let's get it done. Yeah!